today I wanted to share with you some information. I want to talk about how to estimate your FERS basic annuity. But I want to go off some of the recent conversations I've been having with people. And it goes like this. Usually, a federal employee will bring in their total compensation statement, their benefits summary, whatever it is, and they're looking at the FERS basic annuity numbers on that sheet that kind of project what you can expect at various ages. And there's just one problem with the calculation there. It's in today's dollars. Well, there's actually two problems. It's in today's dollars, and it also doesn't take into consideration any career advancement that you may have, whether you're going to move up in grade, steps along the way, whatever it is. It's not adjusting your salary properly. So it's not giving you a true indication of what your basic annuity might look like when you go out, whether it's just a few years away or whether it's a little more substantial down the road. So let's take a look at it. And I think it's kind of fun to run through these calculations, so bear with me a little bit. But the example that we're going to use, we're going to say someone's a GS14, 48 years old, and they're looking to retire maybe at age 60. And at age 60, they'd have 28 years of service. So what would their FERS basic annuity look like in those circumstances? All right, so the very first thing we're going to want to do is take a look at the pay scale, the GS pay scale. We know there was just an increase that came out with the January pay raise. We're going to want to take a look at this. So we said that our current employee is a GS14, but they aspire to end their career at age 60, and they think they're going to get to be a GS15 step 3. So that's the number we need to base our annuity calculation on. But it's not just that number. We also need to adjust that number for inflation. So you can see on this chart here, a GS15 step 3 today makes $174,894 a year. Okay, 12 years down the road, what does that look like with pay raises? I know pay raises have been a political debate in the past, but over the long term, they've happened with consistency. All right, so for our calculations, we're just going to take a safe rate here. We're going to say over the next 12 years, your pay is going to increase by 3% a year on average. Okay, maybe some years more, some years is less, but 3% is the calculation we're going to use. So what does that look like? Let's take a look. So here's some of our notes. We said currently GS14, one retires a GS15 step 3. The current salary rate here, $174,894 at 3% for 12 years. That runs us up to a $249,357 salary in 12 years, right? If we see those same pay raises, that could be what our high 3 is going to be based on. All right. So of course, this is simplistic, right? And this annuity calculation is not taking into consideration any of the nuance. There's some great spreadsheets out there that you can find that take in all the nuance, whether you're buying back time, you can get down to the dollar on what you want to project your high 3 to be. But we're just going to say, we're going to use this inflation adjusted number, $249,357 at age 60 is going to be your high 3. We're going to say this employee has 28 years of service at that point. So age 60, we got the 1% multiplier, 28 years. We take our $249,357 and we run the calculation. That gives us $69,819 as the FERS basic annuity. So you see how I did that? Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We can do that. Now, I think it gets really interesting. 62 can be the right number for some people. The 1.1% multiplier is nice. It's not essential if you have some other goals. The numbers aren't the only part of the story here, but let's just look at how this changes the story. So you got 2 more years. Let's say your pay increases again by that 3%. So the 249 now it grows to $264,543. Okay, so that's another significant increase over those 2 years at 3%. I know this isn't exact, of course, because the high 3 would technically be something a little bit different, but we're going to base our simplistic calculation on this number. So 1.1% times 30 years times 264,000. Now your annuity bumps up to $87,299 a year. Okay, so you can see the difference here. 2 extra years, salary increases a little bit, high 3 goes up a little bit. The 1.1% multiplier means a 10% raise. So all the things that you're going to want to consider as you work through your decision points. All right, so I hope this has given you something to think about. Again, this is just a simplistic way to kind of run the numbers on what your FERS basic annuity might look like to give you a ballpark. It's not going to be down to the dollar, but can give you an idea of what you might be working with. Now, of course, you want to take into consideration the deductions that are going to come off this thing, state and federal taxes, survivor benefits, anything else that might be coming out of your annuity, the health benefits, group life insurance benefits, those sort of things. But this is just going to kind of give you a ballpark, a better idea than what your benefit statement will, and you can back into these numbers pretty easy. If you have questions, happy to chat about it. I know it's a bit more involved, but I hope you found some value here. If you have, we'll appreciate you giving us a like and a subscribe.